Hello everyone, I'm here to do the reading for the lovely sign of Pisces. Before we get into that, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I was thinking about it the other day, how much I've changed personally. I've grown so much since I've been doing this work from where I started. I think if you wanted to have a little giggle to yourself, go back to the beginning. I wouldn't show my face, my voice would shake all the time. I had no confidence whatsoever, but I kept feeling like I wanted to do it. And so many people said to me, why do you want to do YouTube? I was like, I don't know. I just feel driven to do it and I'm going to do it. So I sat at my kitchen table, and I was very shaky. I wouldn't show my face. I started getting my nails really done nicely. So, at least they looked good on screen. And I think I was like that for probably the first year. And then I started to change things. And then one day I went, you know what, I'm ready. I'll show my face. So if you have only just joined me, I've been on YouTube now for possibly 5 years, going on 6 years, I think. Reading cards, over 50. So when I read for people, it's very different doing a personal reading to what it is doing a reading on here. So when I'm reading on here, I'm reading for a collective energy. So whatever comes through, comes through. I just accept it. I roll with the punches. If you would like a personal reading with me, then you would need to visit www.theaussiegoddess.com and go to the shop option where I have all the readings up. And it was really cool because I toyed with putting the crystal ball reading back up again because they're a little bit more demanding on me than just a face-to-face reading, and somebody ordered one straight away, so I was pretty impressed with that. It's a beautiful reading. It's very different because it's somewhat symbolic when you're doing a crystal ball reading. So sometimes I will see things and I will tell you what I see, but I don't know what they mean. You usually come back and say, oh, I know what that meant. So Pisces, we're going to start off with a little bit of a spiel for the astrology people. So when I ask what star sign you are, if you say you're a Pisces, generally it's because you're a Pisces sun. But when you were born, the planets aligned just for you, and you have lots of planets in your person. So each planet goes into a different house, which affects each different layer of your life. So your sun, your moon, and your rising are all aspects of your personality. The parts you show to the world, the parts you are, the parts you hide from the world. So very interesting to know those three. Your Venus, when Venus falls in a house, then it will tell you that you handle that in a particular way. So say, for example, it was your Pisces in Venus that you're watching this for, then it would be heavily related to your love life, the reading. So it's sort of really, it just means that you can watch a lot more aspects of yourself. You're not particularly stuck in one aspect of who you are. So it's really easy to do. All you've got to do is Google natal chart or birth chart, put in your details of your birth, and then you can check to see where all the planets were. Sorry, my phone's ringing, so my my watch is ringing and it's distracting me. Okay, so let's get started on your reading, Pisces. Yeah, Google it. Have a look at it. It's good fun. Download a report. Keep the report there so you can go back to it. Your cards are very lively today, I must add. Okay. So we're starting off with the Lover's card. How beautiful. So this is the card of Gemini. I always talk about the Lover's card because when I first started reading, it was called The Choice, and it was about choice. And so whenever I see the Lover's card, it still means to me that there is a certain element of it that will be a choice. Some people see it as a relationship that is formed divinely, so two people being brought together by destiny. But generally for me, it still sort of gives me the energy of the choice. So behind that, we have a Princess of Wands, Daughter of Wands, Page of Wands coming through with an Empress here. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles. Wow, okay. There is something here that you haven't given up on. It's almost like it's got to fall into some sort of time before it comes true. Now, it could be a relationship. It could be, but to me, this feels like it could be something to do with resources, work, grants, anything to do with money, acceptance at uni, um, maybe getting a grant to go to uni, but it sort of feels to me like it's got some sort of financial basis. So if you've been looking for a job or you've been trying to get on top of yourself financially, this looks like a really good energy for you. Look straight out of the gate, the Ace of Swords, brand new beginning, but this time around, and you've got the Tower coming through. Now the Tower came through nearly the same position this morning, Ten of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Now, this makes me feel even more like you're being fished out of some sort of a situation here, where perhaps things were very difficult. It sit extremely now on the fact that if it's about a job, you've been looking for a while. But the Ace of Swords tells me that something is coming. Something is coming here. All right, so we have the Hanged Man with the Ace of Wands and the Six of Swords. There are two aces here with Hanged Man between them. There is some sort of decision you're going to make here. That's why we have the Lovers card. Some sort of choice needs to be made, because there's almost like this feeling here. I'm just going to put a few more cards out. We do have the Sun. It's not a bad reading. We do have the Ten of Wands coming through with the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like it's definitely about work. The other thing it can come through when I have the Tower with the Eight of Pentacles is maybe you've had some sort of clarity here about some sort of work you need to do on yourself. Now, when you become really aware and you become that observer and you see or something happens like a broken relationship and you stand there and you think, what am I doing here? I feel like I've been in this situation before. It may be that you've been in love with a very similar person before who's done the same thing to you, or it could be you're just not meeting people. But there is something here that in order to create a new beginning, you have to change something. Now, to me, that could mean, as I said, that a job is coming through that is allowing you to clean up all the responsibilities. It doesn't seem financial, so I'm going to go with the fact that I feel like this is a huge spiritual change for you. But to me, it is something to do with your anxiety. Now, I know I often give you ideas about myself, and I think I never used to talk about myself. I never used to feel. I never used to know what anger was. I grew many years feeling quite numb and really unaware of who I was. The one thing that I can really say to you is once you start doing the work, you won't go back. And it's hard. It's hard when you're doing the work to understand your beginnings, how you were raised, the sort of people who raised you, understanding the cycles that you go through, all of those sort of things. But at the end of the day, you cannot go back. It can make your life so much more difficult to start with. But once you've got there, you feel so satisfied with things. I have spent many, many years not sleeping well. So I would not be able to go back to sleep if I woke up. I would probably get maybe 4 or 5 hours sleep a night. I've had so much difficulty. I've tried everything. Honest to goodness, I have tried everything. I tried everything from not drinking coffee through to medication, and nothing worked. Even when I would heavily medicate myself, I would still wake up and be full of beans. It was never a bad thing. It was never a bad thing that I got up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and would vacuum or iron or something just to wear myself down. But I could always have a little bit of a nap during the day. 20 minutes was great to get me going. So I have heard some of the great thinkers like Einstein used to survive on that, but I think I was pretty wiped out. I have found now that because I can quieten my mind, because I can stop my mind thinking about things and overthinking things, and I can be really solidly fixed in myself, I can now go back to sleep. So for the last probably 12 months, I've managed to have 8 hours sleep a night. Even when I do wake up, I'm not awake for long. I just turn my mind off and I go back to sleep. It took a lot of skill to do that and a lot of work. But you know what? I'm reaping the benefits of it now. This is sort of the energy I'm getting here. Something has to change. In order for a new beginning to occur, something has to change deep within you, because you've got something happening here that looks like some sort of pattern to me. Let me show you. So we have endings with the swords and the wands. We have new beginnings with the aces. We have this energy here with the hanged man, the tower, and the eight of swords of anxiety, stress about the future, whatever it is. But I have this energy. And you know, when the sun comes through, it cancels out a lot of that energy that's heavy. So I feel like here there is something, and it could be to do with work, because you do have this sort of energy here with the 6 and the 8 of Pentacles. You do have this sort of energy here of being able to break a pattern with that 6 of Swords, move forward and get on a brand new footing. Now, it could be, as I said, that you haven't been able to find work for a while. I'm going to put the cards down again. But I feel like something is coming. But I feel like for many of you, it could be, if it's work, it could be that you can't find the work you want to do, 11:11 on the clock, and that you're trying to make a choice to move into a new work environment. And if that is the case, fantastic. Maybe you've always been bullied. Maybe you've always been pushed around in jobs and you're determined to not let that happen. Maybe you've done the work, left a job behind, and you're waiting for the next best thing. If this is about working on yourself, I feel like you're going to finally understand that cycle you've been going through. Whether it is, you know, meeting the same person in relationships that has a different face. But the choice here with that, lovers, is to make the change within yourself. So what you've been doing or what you're currently doing may not work. And it really will take you almost breaking yourself down to come back as a new version of yourself. So I'm just going to put some more cards down, asking Spirit to show me. There is a choice. Again, 2 of Swords. I'll pull the cards at random this time. With the Lover's card, which is also, as I said, a card of choice. Then we have the 6 of Wands, which is the card of victory and rebirth, because it's got the butterfly on it. And then we have, the Knight of Pentacles is coming out there. I have the Fool card, which sort of shows me there's a brand new beginning. The Judgment card, which tells me there's a rebirth. And we have the 7 of Cups. I just want to say to you, whatever is happening here, this to me is really strong internal. If I was doing a personal reading here, I'd say to someone, be kind to yourself, because this to me is a complete recharge. And it's going to open up like a world of a plethora of opportunity for you. So by changing this one thing about yourself, or changing this aspect of yourself, you're opening yourself to many, many, many things. And this is why there are so many new things, so many beginnings, so many endings. Now, often when I see people do, you know, like a complete turnaround with this rebirth card, it can mean they change their relationships, they change their friendships, their family. It can mean that they walk out of jobs into something new. But the other thing that starts to happen is there seems to be a flow effect. So it's almost like you change 1 or 2 things and everything else wants to be changed as well. It's almost like, you know, changing your appearance for some reason. Somehow or another, it's changing you deep within. And it's allowing you to bring forth all these new opportunities. And I feel, Pisces, for you, there's almost this feeling like by really understanding this aspect of yourself, it's like it's opening the doors, it's opening your world up to new things. So maybe you haven't realized, you know, up until this point that you've been doing that, especially with the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords together. Maybe you have a negative mindset, for example, but you've never realized it. And maybe people have tried to point it out to you, but when you're stuck in it, sometimes it becomes part of who you are and you don't really see yourself any differently. But something is coming. I almost feel like you're getting sort of a really big wake-up call. which might send you into a brand new direction. All right, let's see what the wisdom of the oracle has to say today. Oh, I'm not taking 3 cards out, but it had Between Worlds was that first card there. And the Between Worlds cards means that you're going from one world to a new world. So it's possible. Thinker came out. Oh, it's 44. Holy dooly. That's my number. 44. All the fours. Thinker, strategy, being analytical and logical. Now, this is another thing to keep in mind because we are taught all the time to think from the heart, to use the heart. I think it's really not the best advice for us. I think we need to have mind, body, spirit in balance. I feel like when you're doing something from the heart, if it's only from the heart, you would end up in so many poor relationships trying to save people. So for me, it's a blend of mind, body, spirit. And when you have them in balance, then you have the world at your feet. The ability to reason and strategize is the focus now. Take things at face value and follow the logical path. Your calculations will prove to be correct, for in this moment there is no deeper meaning than what is obvious. Things are exactly as they seem. You have all the information you need. Keep it simple and you will win the game of life you're playing right now. So I feel like whoever this reading resonates with, this is the right time. It's time to do what you need to do in regards to making choices about how you want your future to look. If you're happy just doing what you're doing and moving forward like that, that's fantastic. But if you want more, then I feel like it's time to really start digging deep into your shadow work, your inner child work, your trauma work, whatever it is for you. I'll leave you with that. Thank you.